So for the past several months, we've been dealing with drought here in central North Carolina and many parts of the United States. We've been seeding here on the channel. We did an experiment. As most of you know, we seeded super early in August. Didn't turn out too well. So we've been doing a lot of repair seeding or reseeding. And right now, currently, as you guys can see, we're looking pretty sharp. We're looking really well, although it did take us several seedings. Not only our initial seeding, we didn't aerate out here, but we did an initial seeding in August. We had some seed come up, die out on us. We had to repair some areas. Even right here behind me, there's an area we put some topsoil and put some seed down, and it's growing in and it's looking fabulous. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Mr. Ferguson. If you're not subscribed, I would encourage you to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for some more videos here through the winter months on lawn care. Today, we're talking about weed killer. Let's do this thing. So we're talking about weeds in the lawn today. We have finally established our turf. We've planted all that new seed, as we was just talking about. We've repair seeded, and a lot of our repair seeding has finally begun to mature and has been mowed a couple times, if you're like me. And so now that we've done that, we are better equipped and able with more mature grass. We can now start looking at the weeds in our lawn, which maybe you have a lot, maybe you don't have much at all. And now we can start attacking that with something like a 2,4-D product. So I want to talk about that today. I'm actually going to be doing some spraying in my own lawn. Now, all of our areas are not completely safe. As you guys recall, here's a quick update on over here. I was dealing over here with a lot of thinness in this area. It seemed like my main stand of turf out here, as you look, it is absolutely gorgeous. It's doing really, really well right now. We're standing out like a, as Pete says, a shiny penny, and we're looking great. However, right here in the middle, the gaps that I was seeing right here, look at this. It's pretty much gone. It is all filled in. We begin to mow more often with fertilization, and so now our gapping in our holes, we still got some spots, but we're looking much better. However, we were still struggling on this section where I deal with the shade seed and other areas. So we took some topsoil, we bought some Stay Green, we put that down several weeks ago. We got some sticks here, but you can just see as I lower you guys, you can just see all of the new grass and all of the new baby grass and germination, that because we put down the soil, it really made a difference. Now, when we were trying to use the garden weasel, we were trying to tear up the ground, plant seed, water, it didn't want to establish. However, with the use of the Stay Green, with the use of this topsoil mixed in with the Stay Green, which has starter fert, it seems to really have enjoyed that extra nutrients of that dirt and of that ground. And now we've got baby grass coming in, not to mention just the natural effects of the fall. The lowering of the air temperatures, the lowering of the ground temperatures makes a huge difference. So I'm going to grab a product and we'll go back up here on the porch, and let's talk about, now that we've got most of our seeding mature, we got to avoid the areas of our baby seed here. We don't want to spray herbicide on anything and kill our good grass that's still trying to develop roots. But with the majority of our lawn, if we're going to handle weeds, what is the best one to use and why? And so we're going to once again talk about killing weeds in our fescue lawn. So later on this afternoon, I'm finally going to be tackling some of the weeds in my lawn. Now, we talked about here recently, we've been hitting the topic, we've been slowing down as far as YouTube content and lawn care, and that's normal because most folks have planted their grass, they're mowing it every now and then, they're not really in lawn care mood, everybody's looking towards the holidays and things of that nature. Only us fescue lawn freaks are still looking at lawn care content. So thank you all for who continues to watch and continues to give the video a thumbs up. Let's try to get to 10,000 viewers. Being this is the slow season, we may not make it there, but hey, maybe we'll get into it in the spring. So when we're looking at our lawn now, we're beginning to slow down in our growth, but here in North Carolina, we're just now, for the first week, and this whole entire fall season, we're going to be in the upper 50s for our highs. Now, when we're talking about weed control, we're talking about recently with Poa annua, as I was saying, we were talking about the main way we can keep Poa annua out of our lawn is by having a thick stand of turf. By planting our natural desired grass type thick, we're not helping the Poa have gaps and room for it to pop up in our lawn. It's going to happen. It's going to find ways in to infiltrate. But when we plant and we have a thick set of turf, it makes it more difficult. I showed you guys the pictures recently of 2020 when my whole entire backyard was 90% Poa. We didn't use any $500 herbicide or anything like that. All we did was in the fall time, we did a good aeration. We planted thick, heavy GCI turf type tall fescue seed. It came up, and the next following year in the fall time and into that spring, being that we couldn't use pre-emergent, we only had probably about 5 to 10% Poa annua. It dramatically, night and day difference. And ever since then, yes, we'll sometimes deal with pockets of Poa annua in our lawn, but just having a thick stand of turf, it dramatically made a difference in how that cool season weed populates in our lawn. The same is true for other broadleaf weeds. It shouldn't, if you're planting your grass and you have a thick stand of turf, you're likely watching this video saying, dude, I don't have a weed problem. And honestly, I don't either. Now, I will see a few as I mow and as I walk the area. Even here, if we just look on the back porch, most of it, you just look at my turf and I'm like, it's looking good. I can't see with the naked eye anywhere, but we will around the edges and stuff get things like this right here. Little broadleaf weeds that will pop up that are no big deal, but if we're seeing it all over, we're seeing it in clumps, we may want to spot spray just to get outside, just to get out of the lawn, something to do during halftime. We're able to come out and just kind of clean up any of those weeds. Also, you guys know this area stays pretty moist. It stays in the shadow. We have to clean this with Clorox over here. We've got thin turf over here. It likes to develop moss. We've torn out some Poa triv and now we're growing new grass. But the point being, we've got weeds that pop up over here in these rocks. So just a quick spray of some herbicide for 2,4-D that is safe on tall fescue but not on weeds will just kill this clovery stuff really quick and really easy. So when we walk around, another example I just see right here on the edge, you see these little teeny, I call them clover, but I'm not sure what they are, but I know by looking at them, I've been doing lawn care enough now to know 2,4-D will utterly destroy this and I won't be able to find it in probably about 5 days if we don't have any rain. Now, you don't have to do any of this. Now, when we're talking about weed control, if you've planted a thick, nice stand of turf, the lawn itself is choking out much of the weeds that you may see. But if we do have weeds and we do have some cleanup to do, maybe you didn't plant as thick, or maybe the germination rate of your seed wasn't as thick as you wanted it to be and you do have weeds. So what is it that you should be trying to use? Well, there is a factor that you need to consider. There are 2,4-D products out there that are different. They're not all the same. And so, for example, we've used this up at the project lawn. This is called Triplet. It's called Triplet SF. I got this off domyown.com, and as you see, or may be able to see there on the label, it is 30.56% 2,4-D. And it's a 2,4-D product. It works very well, but Triplet does perform better in warmer temperatures, warmer ground temperatures, warmer air temperatures. Whereas something like this, which is called Speed Zone, that we've talked about many times here on my channel in the past, Speed Zone is also a 2,4-D. It's only 28.57% 2,4-D, so it's about 2% less, but you'll notice that there is an ethyl and an ester added to this. Now, I don't know the biology, I don't know the details, I don't know the science behind this. When trying to research the specific reason why Speed Zone is better and different than other, something like Triplet, I didn't find the exact answer. But if you look up something like Speed Zone, up until the time of frost, I'm seeing information online where something like Speed Zone is going to tackle weeds with no problem. You may have more of a difficult time time with a 2,4-D product from Lowe's, Home Depot, something like a Triplet, something like a Weed B Gone, you may want to invest in something like Speed Zone. This is somewhere around 35 bucks off Amazon. You can find Speed Zone in Ace Hardwares. You can find them in a gallon. I just buy the 20 fluid ounces, and I'm getting a little low. I got enough to probably tackle some weeds right now. And I only really do a weed spray and tackle weeds really this time of year, or you can even wait, let it develop and come into spring and really just jump into weed control in the springtime. It's really up to you. But again, sometimes we just want to get out. We have those warm days that pop up where we're watching football, but we just need to get out of the house. Maybe somebody's cooking, maybe it doesn't smell great, maybe the kids are running around driving you nuts, and you're like, man, I need to get out on the lawn. I just need to do something, which goes into my next and last topic. How do we want to apply this? Well, if you don't have weeds everywhere in your lawn, I wouldn't recommend taking a herbicide, throwing it into the backpack and spraying it all over your lawn, when really, if you've only got certain clusters of weeds popping up, let's only attack those areas, which is called spot spraying, instead of blanket spraying it everywhere. So what you want to do is just read the label. Somewhere between 1 to 1.1 ounces of Speed Zone, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. Actually, it tells us right here on the back, 1.1 to 1.5 fluid ounces of Speed Zone per 1,000. You can do 1 gallon, which is probably what I'm going to do. Being I do not have a ton of weeds, I'm going to mix 1 gallon of water, throw in 1.2 ounces of Speed Zone, and I'm going to spot spray some of the things. Just walk my lawn, walk my stripes, and spot spray. Obviously over here by the rocks and other areas off of the turf where I want to clean up. Now, another thing that you got to consider is you may, like me, when you were doing your seeding this fall, you may have sowed some of your grass seed into your rocks, into your mulch, and obviously Speed Zone is not going to hurt that grass. It will hurt the broadleaf weeds, but it's not going to kill your fescue. It's not going to kill your tall fescue. It's not going to kill your creeping red fine fescue or things of that nature that are mature. Now, when we're talking about newly germinated grass, like what I've got here, like what I've got back here, I'm going to avoid spraying those areas. I don't want to risk killing that new grass. I want it to get established, so avoid areas where you've done repair seeding and such. So again, we're in the season where you can wait till spring, but I think it's worth getting outside. Like today, it's going to be 71 degrees, perfect day to spray, and you want to use something like Speed Zone. And if you notice that you don't have Speed Zone, you're using a 2,4-D. Mr. Ferguson, I'm using a 2,4-D, just like what you're talking about, but why do I not see the weeds dying? It could be the type of 2,4-D product you're using. I believe, and don't quote me on this, but I believe what makes Speed Zone unique is the ester ingredient in here, which helps it to perform even better in cooler temps, even up to 32 degrees or so. In really cold temperatures, you can kill weeds. So I will leave a link in the description below for Speed Zone if you're interested. Check it out. You may want to check out other products and let me know. I know Mr. Kevin likes T-Zone. I'm not sure if that works as well in cold temperatures. I just know Speed Zone has worked for me. I don't need any other product. It's a reasonable price product and it does the job that I need it to do. So we're killing weeds here in Central North Carolina. Let me know what you're doing and let me know your thoughts and comments on this video. God bless you guys, and we'll see you next time.